Hi guys, and welcome back to lesson 6 in our fractions topic. Today you can see that we are going to be building on our last lesson of adding fractions, except this time we're going to have different denominators. Your success criteria for today then is, can you remember the rules for adding and subtracting fractions? And are you able to check if you can simplify your answer at the end? So, at a party, you take half a pizza and your friend takes 1/4. So what we're saying is you've eaten all of this section here and your friend has eaten all of this section here. So how much pizza has been eaten? Well, you've eaten a half and your friend has eaten 1/4. So what we've got here is all of this section, which is equal to 3/4. Now we said that we can only add our fractions together when the denominators are the same number. So how have we done 1/2 plus 1/4 to give us 3/4? So because our rule is that we must have the same denominator, I need to make 2 and 4 match. Now, we need to think back to lesson 1 with our equivalent fractions. So is there a way that I can turn 2 into 4 or 2 and 4 into a different number so that they match? Well, 4 is in my 2 times table and it's 2 lots of 2. Whatever I do to the bottom number, I must do to the top. So we are going to have to times 1 by 2 as well. That is then equal to 2/4. I haven't changed my second one because I still want that bottom number to match. So if I leave it as 1/4, I've got a 4 and a 4. 2 plus 1 then gives me 3, and my denominator stays the same. So that is how we have 1/2 plus 1/4 gives us 3/4 overall. Some more examples then. So I've got 3/4 plus 1/8. Is there a way that I can make 4 and 8 match? Yes. 8 is in my 4 times table, so I can multiply 4 by 2 to get to 8. But whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top, so we are going to have to times by 2 on the top there. 3 2's give me 6, and 4 2's give me 8. I am not changing my second fraction because I still want it to have an 8 on the bottom. Now that my denominators match, I can do 6 plus 1 gives me 7, and 8 is going to stay as it is for 7/8. For our second example here, I've got 1/6 plus 2/3. Now 6 and 3, well, I can make 3 into a 6 by timesing by 2, and then whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. So that is then going to be 1/6 plus 4/6. And then just like before, 1 plus 4 gives me 5, and 6 stays as it is for the denominator. Now I want you guys to pause this video and give this a try, and then come back and see what your answer should be. Okay, hopefully we gave that a go then. So 4 and 8, well, I can turn 4 into 8 by multiplying by 2. And whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. So here I've got 2/8 plus 1/8. 2 plus 1 then is going to give me 3, and 8 stays as it is on the bottom there. 2/6 and 3/12. Well, I know that 12 is 2 lots of 6, so I can do 6 times by 2. Then I have to do 2 times by 2 on the top there. So that is going to give me 4 lots of 12. Plus 3 lots of 12, and I know that 4 plus 3 is 7, and 12 stays as it is on the bottom. We can use the same rules for subtraction. So 4/5 take away 8/15. Now, this time, 5 and 15, is there a way I can get these two to match? Yes, 15 is in my 5 times table, and I know that 15 is 3 lots of 5, so it won't always be times by 2. 5 times by 3 will give me 15, and whatever I do to the bottom, I must do to the top. So that is going to give me 12 15ths. And we are going to take away 8 15ths. I can now do my subtraction. So 12 take away 8 is going to leave me with 4. And 15 stays as 15 on the bottom. For our second one then, 9 and 3, well they can match by turning my 3 into a 9. 9 is worth 3 lots of 3, so I can times by 3. And times by 3 on the top. So 5 ninths stays as it is. And we are going to take away 3 ninths. 5 take away 3 is 2. And 9 stays as it is on the bottom. Again, I want you guys to pause this video and give it a try yourself. Okay, I hope we got that all right. So I can turn 2 into 4 by timesing by 2. So I need to times the top by 2. So that is going to give me 2 out of 4. And we are now going to take away 1 quarter. 2 take away 1 leaves me with 1. And 4 is just going to stay as 4 on the denominator there. For 10 twelfths, take away 2 sixths. I know that I can make 6 into 12 by multiplying by 2. So I'm going to times the top by 2. 10 twelfths are going to stay as they are. 2 times by 2 is 4, and 6 times by 2 is 12. So now my denominators match. I can do 10, take away 4 gives me 6, and 12 is going to stay as it is. Now, I wonder if any of you spotted, 6 and 12 are in my same times table. They can both be divided by 6, so I need to simplify. And that is going to simplify to 1/2 is our answer. Well done if you managed to simplify that as well at the end there. What about these examples here? I've got 2/3 plus 1/4. Now 3 and 4 are not in the same times table there, but what I can do is think about what is the smallest number in both of those times tables. Well, if I start with my 3, I've got 3, 6, 9, and then my 4 times table, I've got 4, I've got 8, I've got 12. I've not got a match yet, so I'll keep going. 3, 6, 9, so my next one's 12, and there we go. You can see that 12 and 12 are both in my 3 and 4 times table. So I need to make both of my denominators 12. 3 4s give me 12, so I'm going to times by 4 on the bottom. So I need to times by 4 on the top. And I'm going to do the same on my 1/4, but this time I'm thinking, well, 4 lots of 3 are going to give me 12, so I need to times by 3 on the top there. That then is going to become 8/12 plus 3/12. And then we're just going to do the same as before. 8 and 3 should give me 11. And 12 stays as it is. 11 and 12 are not in the same times table, so that is my final answer. 8 ninths take away 5 6. I can't turn 6 into 9, so what I'm going to have to do is think on my 6 and my 9 times table. So my 6 times table then, I've got 6, 12, 18. And for my 9 times table, I've got 9, I've got 18. And there we can see that I've got 2 numbers that match. So I need to think on how I'm going to turn my 9 and my 6 into 18. So 2 9s are 18, so I need to times 8 by 2 as well. For 5 6ths, well 3 6 gives me 18, so I need to times my 5 by 3 as well. 8 2s are going to give me 16, 9 2s give me that 18, and then 5 3s are 15, 6 3s are 18. I have the same denominator, so 16 take away 15 is 1, and 18 stays as it is for my final answer. So hopefully that makes a bit of sense there, and you can do exactly as I did and lay out your different times tables to find the smallest number that is in both times tables. Okay, almost there. For our final examples then, when it's mixed number, we just do exactly as we did before. So start with our whole numbers. 2 plus 1 gives me 3, and I've got my 3/10 plus my 2/5. I'm thinking, can I turn 5 into 10? Yes, I can. 2 5s give me 10, so I need to times the top by 2. And I do not multiply my 3 by anything. That whole number, it stays as it is. So I'm keeping that as 3 and 3/10. And we're going to add on my 4/10. Again, 3 stays as it is. 3 plus 4 is going to give me 7. And 10 stays the same for the denominator when we add and subtract. For our second example then, final one guys, well done. 6 take away 3 is going to give me 3. And I've still got 3/4. And we're going to take away 1/6. I'm going to have to think then, I can't make my 4 into a 6. 6 isn't in my 4 times table. So if I start with 4, and then 8, and then 12, and then my 6 times table, well, I've got 6, 12, so I know that 12 and 12 match, so I need to turn my 4 into 12. Well, we can do that by multiplying by 3, so I need to times by 3 on the top. For my 1/6, I'm going to times by 2. So I need to times by 2 on the top. Now, like I said last time, my whole number does not change, so it's just going to stay as 3. But then my numerator 3 times by 3 is going to give me 9, and 4 times by 3 is 12. Take away that 1 times by 2 is 2, and 6 times by 2 is 12. So my 3 stay in a whole number. 9 take away 2 is 7 over 12, and that is my final answer there. Well done guys for sticking with me there. Question 1 and 2 are our mild ones today. So for question 1, that's like our very first few examples, so you are only going to have to change one fraction to get it to match the denominator of the other. For question 2, it's talking you through when you need to think about your times tables a bit more, and for a couple of them you're going to have to simplify your answer at the end. Question 3 gets a bit harder. It's with our mixed number fractions there. So again, deal with your mixed number first, then get your common denominator and add or subtract. And then question 4 is our hottest section. So these should be our 7 hardest questions. If you are really struggling with them, don't worry too much. Focus on your mild and medium. Let me know in our Teams chat if there is anything I can help you with. Try your best, and I'll see you in the next video.